The rain hammered the courthouse steps like fists of fate, but inside 16-year-old Aisha Jackson stood frozen, her heart pounding louder than the storm outside. She had just signed away her old life, the one of foster homes and whispered judgments, for a new one with Sarah and Emily, two women whose love had bridged worlds she never dreamed she'd enter. In that instant, as the judge's gavel fell, Aisha whispered a secret that could shatter everything. "I'm gay and my real mom's dying. I need you to help me save her." Sarah's hand trembled on the adoption papers, her blue eyes widening not in shock, but in the fierce resolve of a woman who had fought her own battles for love. At 35, she was the steady anchor, a high school English teacher with calloused fingers from grading papers late into the night, her short auburn hair framing a face etched with quiet empathy. Beside her, Emily, 37, the vibrant graphic designer with flowing blonde waves and a laugh that could chase away thunderclouds, squeezed Aisha's shoulder, her voice a soft anchor in the chaos. "We're in this together, kiddo. All of it." But Aisha's words hung heavy, a storm cloud over their fresh start in this sleepy Ohio town, where maple trees lined streets that whispered old secrets and new possibilities. They drove home in silence, the wipers slashing through the downpour, Aisha's backpack clutched like a shield in the backseat of Emily's beat-up Subaru. The house on Elm Street was a beacon of warmth, Victorian gingerbread trim painted sage green, porch swing creaking in the wind, windows glowing with the promise of family dinners and shared dreams. Sarah and Emily had built this life over 8 years. Their love a defiant tapestry woven from stolen kisses in college dorms and courtroom vows that made headlines in their small liberal arts town. They were no strangers to stares, to the sideways glances at the grocery store when they held hands, but adopting Aisha? That was their boldest stroke yet. A canvas stretched across racial lines and unspoken fears. As they crossed the threshold, dripping umbrellas in hand, Aisha's phone buzzed. A photo from the hospital, her mother Lena, gaunt and smiling weakly from a bed of starched white sheets. Cancer had clawed its way through Lena's body over the last year. Stage 4 pancreatic, the kind that doctors spoke of in hushed tones and finalities. Aisha's throat tightened. Lena wasn't just her mother, she was the woman who had braided her hair with stories of jazz legends and civil rights marches, who had cried when Aisha came out at 14, not from rejection, but from the raw fear of a world that chewed up black girls who loved differently. "She kicked me out to protect me," Aisha had explained earlier, voice cracking. Said the streets were safer than her bad luck rubbing off. But now, with adoption sealed, Aisha felt the weight of unfinished business pressing down. That first night, they gathered in the kitchen, the scent of Emily's lasagna filling the air like a hug. Sarah poured lemonade, her movements deliberate, buying time to process. "Tell us everything, Aisha. No judgments here." And so she did, words tumbling out like rain. How Lena's illness had forced a fracture, how Aisha bounced through foster care in Cleveland, her queerness a scarlet letter in group homes where prayers turned to punches. She spoke of the girls she'd loved in secret, fleeting crushes that bloomed and withered under judgmental eyes, and how Sarah and Emily's profile, two white moms, openly lesbian, advocating for LGBTQ youth, had felt like a lifeline in the adoption agency's stack of hopes. Emily listened, her artist's eyes sketching Aisha's pain in invisible lines. "We get it," she said softly, glancing at Sarah, their fingers intertwining under the table. "We hid for years too, family holidays where we'd play straight cousins, hearts breaking over pecan pie. But love like ours? It's worth every storm." Aisha nodded, a spark igniting in her chest, the first flicker of belonging. Yet as they cleared plates, her mind raced to Lena, tubes snaking across her arm in that photo, the medical bills stacking like accusations. How could she build a life here while her blood called from afar? The weeks blurred into a tentative rhythm. Mornings began with Sarah's pancakes, golden stacks drizzled with maple from a Vermont trip they'd taken pre-Aisha, symbols of sweeter escapes. Emily blasted indie folk from the studio in the attic, her designs for queer nonprofits splashed across canvases that Aisha shyly admired. School in their district was a revelation. No Bible study detours, just a GSA club where rainbow flags fluttered like promises. Aisha, with her quick wit and curls tied in a high puff, navigated hallways with less armor, her sketchbook filling with portraits. Sarah reading poetry by lamplight, Emily dancing barefoot in the living room. But shadows lingered. Aisha's first call to Lena was a gut punch. Her mother's voice frail over the line, coughing between words about hospital jello and dreams of spring tulips. "Baby girl, you got a family now. Don't look back." Aisha hung up, tears hot on her cheeks, and wandered to the backyard, where fireflies danced like lost souls. There, under the oak tree strung with fairy lights, she met Jordan. Or rather, Jordan found her. Jordan Hayes was 17, a whirlwind of freckles and fire, biracial, with her dad's hazel eyes and mom's tight coils cropped short, captain of the soccer team and unapologetic queen of the poetry slams. She spotted Aisha sketching by the fence one evening, their backyards adjoining like fate's sly wink. "That's raw," Jordan said, peering over the slats at Aisha's drawing of Lena, fierce even in illness. "Like Audre Lorde meets Basquiat." Aisha flushed, but Jordan's grin disarmed her. All easy confidence and chipped nail polish from goalpost dives. They talked for hours that night, voices carrying on the breeze. About Nina Simone records and the ache of loving girls in a world that preached tolerance but practiced tolerance with asterisks. Jordan had come out at 15, her single mom hugging her through it, but the town? It simmered with whispers, especially for a black girl dating white cheerleaders who ghosted at the first slur. "You?" Jordan asked, leaning on the fence, moonlight gilding her skin. Aisha hesitated, then spilled it all: the adoption, the moms, the ghost of Lena. Jordan's eyes softened. "Sounds like you're writing an epic. Mind if I co-author?" From there sparks flew. Stolen glances at the diner after school, Jordan's hand brushing Aisha's under the table, lips meeting soft and urgent behind the bleachers after a game. It was electric, this love, raw and uncharted. Aisha's first real taste of vulnerability wrapped in joy. Sarah and Emily watched with knowing smiles, Emily teasing over dinner. "That fence is getting more action than our anniversary trips." But beneath the laughter, worry brewed. Aisha's sketches grew darker, Lena's updates grimmer. Chemo failing, hospice whispers on the horizon. One crisp October afternoon, as leaves carpeted the lawn in crimson confessions, Aisha came home early, face ashen. She'd driven to Cleveland on a whim, borrowing Emily's car with the promise of ice cream detours. What she found at the hospital shattered her. The room stripped bare, Lena discharged to a dingy apartment, too proud for charity, too broke for care. "They cut me off," Lena had rasped, her once strong hands trembling on a styrofoam cup. "Insurance ghosted. But you? Live free, Aisha. For both of us." Aisha drove back in a haze, crashing through the front door with sobs that echoed off the walls. Sarah enveloped her first, strong arms a harbor, while Emily fetched tea, her own eyes brimming. "We're calling the lawyer tomorrow," Sarah declared, voice steel wrapped in silk. "Adoption doesn't erase blood. It honors it." They pooled resources, Emily freelancing overtime, Sarah tutoring nights away. But the numbers mocked them. Tens of thousands for experimental trials, flights, lost wages. Aisha lay awake that night, Jordan's texts lighting her phone like fireflies. "You're not alone, poet. We'll fight this. But doubt not. Was love enough when death knocks so insistently?" As winter nipped at the heels of fall, the house became a war room of whispers and wills. Aisha threw herself into school, her grades a shield, but her heart wandered to Jordan's backyard, where they'd huddle under blankets, sharing dreams and fears. One night, snow dusting their lashes, Jordan pulled Aisha close. "I love you," she murmured, breath warm against cold skin. Not despite the mess, because of it. Aisha's kiss was a vow, fierce and fleeting, but as they parted, sirens wailed in the distance, a harbinger she couldn't ignore. The call came at dawn, Lena's neighbor frantic. Collapsed, unresponsive, ambulance en route. Aisha bolted upright, Sarah already dialing, Emily grabbing keys. The 3-hour drive to Cleveland was a blur of highways and heartbeats, Aisha's hand vice-tight in Sarah's. At the ER, reality crashed down, sepsis from untreated infection, organs failing, days at best. Lena lay pale against pillows, machines beeping dirges, but her eyes lit when Aisha entered. "My girl," she breathed, fingers weaving through Aisha's curls. "Look at you, whole." The adoptive moms hung back, giving space, but their presence anchored. Emily slipping bills to the social worker for incidentals, Sarah murmuring prayers she'd once scoffed at. Aisha clung to Lena's bedrail, pouring out stories of Ohio leaves and new moms who baked cookies shaped like hearts, of Jordan's poems that made stars jealous. They're good people, Mama. White as snow but souls like yours, fighting for what's right. Lena smiled faintly then faltered. Promise me. Live loud. Love loud. Don't let this world dim you. Aisha promised, but as monitors flatlined warnings, panic surged. Tests rushed, blood types, antigens, and miracle of miracles. Aisha was a match for a transplant, her young marrow the slimmest hope. But risks loomed. Rejection, infection, the knife-edge dance of donor and donee. Doctors hedged. Forms loomed like guillotines. Back in the waiting room, Sarah paced. Emily sketched frantic designs for fundraiser flyers on napkins. We can't lose her, Aisha whispered, collapsing into their embrace. For the first time, the three of them wept as one, a family forged in fire. Word spread like Ohio wildfire. Friends from GSA Jordan's soccer squad, even the diner waitress with the rainbow pin. A GoFundMe bloomed overnight, but Aisha knew it wasn't enough. That night, curled on the hospital cot beside Lena's bed, inspiration struck like lightning. She pulled out her sketchbook, pages fluttering like wings, and began to write, not just words but a song. Lyrics poured from her soul. Verses of fractured families mended by love, choruses railing against systems that let black mothers fade while white saviors played hero. It was raw, queer, unapologetic. A ballad for Lena, for Jordan, for the girl she'd been. By morning, she'd texted Jordan the draft. Help me make this real. Jordan arrived at noon, guitar slung over her shoulder, eyes fierce. Together, they refined it in the hospital cafeteria, voices harmonizing over vending machine coffee, turning pain into power. Sarah and Emily arrived with laptops, Emily's design skills whipping up a video concept. Aisha performing, intercut with home videos of Lena's laugh, adoption day tears, Jordan's hand in hers. This could go big, Sarah said, voice thick. But are you ready for the world to see you? All of you? Aisha looked at Lena, sleeping fitfully, then at her mom's, at Jordan's steady gaze. I've hidden too long. Time to stun them. They launched it that evening. A simple upload to YouTube titled For Mama. A love that refuses to fade. Aisha sat cross-legged on the hospital floor, Jordan strumming softly, her voice cracking on the first note but soaring by the bridge. We rise from the ashes of what they broke / black and bold. Loving who we choose / white hands holding. Hearts wide open / this is our anthem. Our unbreakable truth. Emily edited in clips. The courthouse rain, backyard kisses blurred for privacy. Lena's photo album smiles. It ended with Aisha's plea. Help save my mom. Love like this deserves a chance. They hit post at 8 p.m. By midnight, shares trickled 50 then 500. Jordan crashed beside Aisha. Their fingers laced, whispering futures over beeps. Sarah and Emily took shifts, Emily's head on Sarah's shoulder in vinyl chairs. Their love a quiet revolution sustaining them all. Sleep came fitful, dreams tangled with lyrics and Lena's voice. Dawn brought the surge. Notifications exploded. Aisha's phone a grenade of pings. Ellen retweeted. Then Lizzo, her comment. This fire? Y'all need to see. Views climbed. 10K, 100K, a million by lunch. Donations flooded. Strangers from LA to Atlanta. Queer kids in Bible Belt towns. Allies shamed into action. News vans circled the hospital by afternoon. Reporters clamoring for the adopted girl's viral miracle. Aisha, bleary-eyed in borrowed scrubs, faced them with Jordan at her side. Sarah and Emily flanking like sentinels. This isn't about me, she said, voice steady. It's about every mom fighting alone. Every kid loving who they love. My white mom showed me family isn't blood, it's choice. And my black mama? She taught me to fight. Lena woke to the commotion, monitors stable for the first time in days. Aisha played the video on her tablet. The room filling with her own voice, Jordan's guitar weaving magic. Tears traced Lena's cheeks. You did that. For me. Aisha nodded, kissing her forehead. For us. By evening, funds hit the mark. Experimental treatment greenlit. Specialists flying in. The world watched stunned. Headlines screamed of the black lesbian teen whose song bridged divides, whose love for her dying mother ignited a movement. Protests sparked in her name. Bills push for healthcare reform. Queer youth centers funded overnight. But in the quiet hours as fame faded to fluorescent hum, the real story unfolded. Aisha sat with Lena through infusions, Jordan smuggling in contraband chocolates, Sarah reading aloud from dog-eared novels, Emily sketching family portraits on walls with washable markers. Love in its myriad forms, lesbian bonds defying convention, mother-daughter threads rewoven, teen crushes blooming resilient, proved the true stun. Weeks turned to months. Lena rallied, color returning like spring to barren branches. Discharged to Ohio, she moved into the guest room, her laughter mingling with Emily's playlists, her stories schooling Sarah on jazz eras long past. One balmy June evening, as fireflies reclaimed the backyard, they gathered under the oak. Lena in a wheelchair but eyes alight, Aisha and Jordan swaying to the song's acoustic replay, Sarah and Emily toasting with lemonade. To family, Sarah said, clinking glasses, the kind that chooses you back. Aisha looked around, heart full to bursting. This white couple's home, her black mother's survival, her girl's hand in hers. The world had been stunned, but they were just beginning. Yet drama lingered unbidden. Whispers from town busybodies reached their ears. Anonymous letters decrying the mixed-up family. Slurs scrawled on the mailbox. Jordan faced jeers at practice. A teammate's parent hissing about recruiting. Aisha's school buzzed with envy and awe. A bully cornering her in the hall. Think you're special now? Freak show. But Aisha stood tall, lyrics her armor. Love stuns because it survives, she'd say, echoing the song that saved them. Lena's recovery wasn't linear. Relapses shadowed triumphs, nights of fever and fear. One storm-ravaged evening, as thunder rolled like old grievances, she spiked high, delirium pulling ghosts from her past. Aisha, did I fail you? Kicking you out. Thought it'd save you from my curse. Aisha held her, rocking gently. You saved me by loving me first. And these women, they finished the job. Sarah brewed tea, Emily hummed lullabies, Jordan texted encouragements from a sleepover. Dawn broke clear. Lena stabilized, whispering thanks to the ceiling, as if to ancestors nodding approval. Summer deepened, Jordan and Aisha's love a quiet blaze. Picnics by the lake, where they'd skip stones and steal kisses, dreaming of college together, art schools in New York where queer black voices roared free. But tension brewed when Jordan's mom, wary of the spotlight, suggested space. This fame, it's a double-edged sword, baby. Jordan rebelled, storming to Aisha's fence. I'm not hiding us. Not after what you've shown me. Their fight spilled into tears, makeup under stars, reaffirming bonds that fame couldn't fracture. Aisha's song evolved too. Remixes by indie artists, covers in pride parades from Seattle to Savannah. Invites poured, TED Talks, morning shows. She declined most, focusing on Lena's checkups, but one gala in Chicago called, a fundraiser for LGBTQ health equity, her story the keynote. The family caravaned, Lena in the front seat belting old Motown, Sarah navigating, Emily snapping Polaroids. Backstage, nerves jangled. Aisha gripped Jordan's hand. What if they see the cracks? Jordan kissed her temple. Cracks let the light in. On stage, lights blinding, Aisha poured it out. Not polished script but gut truth. The ache of adoption's joy laced with loss, the thrill of lesbian love in a heteronorm world, the terror of a mother's fade. We stunned the world because we refused to fade. My white moms adopted more than a girl, they adopted a fight. My black mama taught me grace under fire. And Jordan? She reminds me every day that love is the ultimate rebellion. Thunderous applause, tears from strangers, Lena beaming from the wings. Return brought normalcy laced with magic. Backyard barbecues where Lena grilled ribs, Sarah debated books with Jordan, Emily designed teas emblazoned with lyrics. But autumn whispered change. College apps loomed, Lena's scans clear for the first time in years. Aisha's senior year sparkled. GSA president, art award for a mural of intertwined hands, every hue a testament. Yet the deepest drama unfolded privately. One frosty December night, as snow blanketed Elm Street, Aisha found Lena in the kitchen, staring at a faded photo of her younger self, vibrant in a dashiki. I was like you once, Lena confessed, voice soft. Loved a woman in the 70s, underground parties, hidden hearts. She left when the raids got too close. Aisha's eyes widened, her mother's queerness a buried root. Why hide it? Lena sighed. Survival, baby. But seeing you, Sarah Emily Jordan. It's freedom I never claimed. They hugged, tears mingling, a legacy unlocked. Emboldened, Lena joined a local support group, her stories inspiring elders long silenced. Sarah and Emily's marriage, once a quiet anchor, gained new depth, vows renewed in a backyard ceremony, Aisha officiating with Jordan as witness, Lena toasting with spiked punch. To loves that stun, she said, winking. Spring bloomed with Jordan's acceptance to NYU Tisch, Aisha to RISD, separate cities, but video calls and summer reunions promised. Their goodbye at the fence was wrenching. Kisses salty with future fears. We'll write the sequel, Jordan vowed. Aisha nodded, heart aching but whole. Lena's full remission came on a golden July day. Doctors baffled her, declaring, "It was that song, your soul in notes, pulling me back." The world had moved on, but their story echoed in op-eds, curricula. Hearts quietly mending. As graduation cap sailed skyward, Aisha stood with her family, Sarah and Emily teary-pair proud, Lena clapping loudest, Jordan whooping from the bleachers. In that sea of black gowns she felt the stun anew. Not the viral moment, but this enduring love. A tapestry of women loving fiercely across lines drawn by others. It wasn't perfection, but humanity at its rawest, dramatic, gay, unbreakable.